I've got good hip tilt, right?
Yeah, if you're a fitness model on Instagram, man.
Oh, well, no. Okay.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Criticalbench channel. Coach Brian Klepacki, strength coach, functional movement specialist, here with Blake Bowman of Guerrillazen Fitness. He is a functional movement specialist, corrective exercise expert, holistic dude. He's that guy. He's that guy that everybody's like, dude, he's that guy.
That dude's holistic.
So we love talking about the hips. We love talking about the glutes. And on his channel, he does the same thing. Great minds think alike. So we're going to be revealing to you how you can test your hips at home. Just it's simple test. I mean, it really is one of the most simplest things you can do to make sure you have good hips or not. So
That's it.
So this isn't a good position?
No, man. Yeah, so what you're doing right there is what we call anterior pelvic tilt. Anterior means towards the front, right? So when your pelvis tilts towards the front, your butt sticks out, your back arches inwards excessively, and your hip flexors are tight, your low back's tight all the time, it's uncomfortable. It's not a good position to be in and move in.
Yeah. So what you want to be is neutral.
Yeah.
Or have a slight posterior, anterior?
A slight tilting forwards of the pelvis is normal, but if it goes more than 10 degrees or so, somewhere around there, then it's really a problem.
Yeah, and this is all based on science, all based on how the body is actually designed. This is not natural. That's not natural. No matter what Instagram models say, this is not natural.
Yeah.
This is not natural.
Correct.
Both are extremely harmful to your spine and also the rest of your body. So getting in that proper position is optimal for all types of individuals, all types of levels of, so it's protect your hips. So what is a simple way that somebody can test their hips at home?
Yeah, well, the first most obvious thing that you can look at, it depends on how bad your anterior pelvic tilt is. But if you're walking around looking like you did at the beginning of the video, you have it for sure 100%, okay? A lot of bodybuilders, a lot of powerlifters and meatheads get this too, just from doing deadlifts and really like promoting their low back. A lot of tension back there, and they don't necessarily know that they have this going on. And sometimes in that case, it's a little bit more insidious. It's not always so obvious. So, if you really want to get technical and figure out exactly how to tell if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, you have to find landmarks on the pelvis and see how they line up with each other. And that's basically what we're going to be teaching you how to do today.
Real quick, if you need something a little more professional, like I'm not saying we're not professional, but something more structured, like an actual follow-along routine, we've got this product called Unlock Your Hip Flexors. Follow along, you can implement this daily. It's going to stretch out everything that you need to get your hips back into a neutral position. So right now, if you want more information about this real quick, click underneath this video in the pin link in the comments section. That's going to take you to that product page.
So you want to just get into that?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is just to get flat out naked. We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that today.
Even though you might want us to, we're not going to do that. That's for a different, never mind.
That's your other channel.
Yeah. So, but there are those two landmarks. You got your PSIS and your ASIS. Yeah, this is kind of like, now we're getting a little more technical, but that bony protrusion on the front of your hip bone, that's your ASIS, your anterior suprailiac spine.
Anterior superior iliac spine.
There you go. So, thank you. I combined suprailiac into one. So if you find that landmark, then you have to, the posterior one, that's a little bit harder to find, but you have to kind of reach all the way back. Again, bony protrusions on the backside of your hips. Those have to be, like you said, maybe a 10-degree difference. Obviously, you're not going to get out a goniometer and measure it, but if the front one is way lower than the back one, that's a clear indicator of you have excessively tight hip flexors, weak glutes, or your hips are just all jacked up.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit of forward tilting of the pelvis is normal. So again, you're looking at the relationship of that pointy bone in the front of your hip right here. It's called the anterior superior iliac spine. It's a very pointy prominence that's easy to feel. So you should be able to, after digging around in there, be able to find it. You want to see where that lines up with another pointy protrusion on the back of your pelvis right about here called the PSIS, the posterior superior iliac spine. And again, what you're looking for is just the, basically how much lower the front is versus the back. Okay, so a little bit of tilting forwards of the pelvis, so a little bit of a discrepancy between the height of that that front one and the back one, that's normal. But once we start tilting forwards excessively beyond 10 degrees or so, then it's a problem, something you want to be addressing through appropriate strengthening exercises and stretching exercises. And you really, like you said, you don't need to quantify this with with instrumentation to figure out the exact degree of pelvic tilt that you have. It's really just not necessary. Because what you need to be doing to fix this is what most people need to be doing anyway: strengthening their glutes, working on their core strength, opening up their hips. Yep. And you're going to benefit from those things most likely if you just proceed forward with those without even quantifying these things. But you really need to be addressing those areas if you're somebody that just has a grossly exaggerated tilt to your pelvis. If you see that it's just really tilted forwards a lot, your low back is, that curvature in the lumbar spine is very, very increased. You got this huge curve in your low back, your butt's sticking out, your hip flexors are tight, your low back is tight all the time. You probably have this going on. These are some, telltale signs that you do.
Yeah, it's also crazy too, when you're standing like this, sometimes it starts from the top down. Even our camera guy's doing this. So it can even start from the top down or the bottom up, where people with tech neck, that forward head posture, upper cross syndrome, they're like this. That actually puts them in that posterior pelvic tilt position, because they're like this. They're hunched over in this position. Then all of a sudden, their hip flexors get too tight, glutes get dormant and weak, and then everything else, it's like, oh, I've got knee pain, I've got back pain, I've got migraines. So you kind of have to address all the areas, not just the hips, but the glutes, the core, your neck, your spine, your feet, and then everything over time, just like everything else. By the way, exercise is a lifelong process. Restoring your health is a lifelong process. Start young, start now. It's never too late to fix your hips, fix your posture, and then you're gonna achieve great things. So again, it's, as a strength coach, as a functional movement specialist, and I know Blake will agree with me on this, the best way to really fix your posture, fix your hips, is to seek out I don't want to say medical profession, seek out someone who is a professional in this area.
Yeah, just a professional expert that has, experience with muscular imbalances, postural distortions, stuff like that.
Because there could be some underlying issues. Be like, yeah, I've got this posterior pelvic tilt, but you might have some fused vertebrae that don't allow you to get in that proper position. You could be doing every core exercise possible to strengthen your core, but your spine could be jacked up. So
same with anterior pelvic tilt. Yeah. That can originate in the ankles. If your ankles are pronating, that creates, basically a ripple effect coming up your entire kinetic chain from the ankles all the way up to the hips, and that can cause the hips to tilt forwards, right? So it is important to get assessed, to get an understanding as to what the root cause of whatever it is you have going on is.
Yeah, I know you're a full believer assessments, assessing the hips, assessing the posture. You do that online, virtually.
Yep.
But just know where you're at. But I'm telling you this, if you are on text or on your phone all the time, you have these issues.
You're on text.
Yeah, on an internet website. AOL and dial-up. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it just got me thinking of that modem connection, that screeching noise, and somebody picks up the phone. I'm on the internet. So, anyways, I'm showing my age there, but I don't even know where I was going with that. So fix your stuff, fix your problems, get assessed. Now, it's hard for us to, jump through the camera, jump through your screen, and help you. One-on-one, but he's got some incredible products. We've got an Unlock Your Hip Flexors product. These are the next best thing to, obviously the next best thing than working with us. You can reach out to Blake on his channel, Guerrillazen, hit him up on Instagram, IG. You can check out the pinned link in the comment section below to get more information on our hip flexors product. These are just tools that you can use to restore your hips. I know we're going over this, we're repeating ourselves, but there is that much importance placed on you fixing your body to get back to doing what you want to do. So, any last words?
No, man, I think we covered everything. Really, you're your best, nobody's gonna care about your body more than you are, so you gotta take responsibility and take control of your health, and, that's what we do a good job, I think, of teaching people how to do. So yeah, man.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Go check out Blake on his channel. And that's it. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.